All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by Hannah from Love Island, USA. Welcome, Hannah.
I'm so happy to be here.
We are so excited to talk to you. Obviously, we are so upset about your dumping from the villa, but we are excited to talk to you. How are you feeling since that night?
I think it's a lot of mixed emotions, a lot of glasses of wine and sad songs and tears. And I feel really bad for my neighbors because, oh my God, they probably think I need like an exorcism or something. I'm losing my mind, but day by day, today's definitely a better day. So
I feel
that's
like as each day goes on, it'll get better. We did see your emotional reaction to being dumped that night. And I think, everybody was like, why? Why did this happen? Was that your immediate reaction as well?
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. Like when I tell you I didn't have like an ounce of like thought in my mind. And it could have also been Pepe. I feel like the entire time he was just looking at me and he was like, "You're good. Like everyone loves you. You're good. Like don't cry. Stop crying. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're okay. You're okay." So like that was my mindset. I'm like, "I'm okay. I'm okay. Everything's
Mm-hmm.
fine." So literally everything changed in like a second. She said my name and I literally my mind's just like, what the fuck? Like, there's no way.
Mm-hmm. That
Like
was
twice, really? Two times we're gonna do this to me?
Yeah, I mean, that was the reaction watching it. And then, anybody naturally after they get sent home by the people in the villa are going to be like, I don't even know if I can talk to you. You just sent me home. And we kind of saw a little bit of that. We saw, the girls telling you the light in the villa. How did you feel talking to them after while you're packing your stuff?
Oh my God, I didn't talk. I literally like what was shown was the only words that I said because I was like, I don't really want to talk to them. I only want to talk to Pepe. I was like, I couldn't like what do I say? I talked to Iris because like Iris was my girl and she had no part in that. And everyone else, I was just like, I really like there's no words. Cause when I'm sad or when I'm frustrated or when I'm angry, like I just like shut off. Like I don't have this like I sob cry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a crybaby, but like I don't really speak. And so I didn't know what to say. And they kept trying to tell me all these things. Oh, well, we love you. I'm like, do you? Do
Mm-hmm.
you like
Right. I was
at my
gonna.
ass?
Did the girls try to give you any kind of explanation to their reasoning behind their vote?
I pretty much got as much of a reasoning as everyone else did. And I even watched like the most recent, like the first episode of like Casa, like right
Mm-hmm.
after I left. Um, Still, I was waiting for an explanation. I was waiting to see if anyone stood behind me at all, or if anyone was like the front runner of like gunning for me to go home. And I still didn't get it. Them saying that I seemed closed off right away. One man walked into the villa and I had a conversation with him. The thing about TJ, like when he walked in, we had one conversation, but I can kind of clock when like me and somebody have different how do I word this? Different opinions on things that I just don't waver on.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of stand on business with that. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew there's multiple people that were like that I just did not want to like have those interactions with. Everybody else, all the other guys I was really close with, and I've talked about them about their connections, and I haven't like they just weren't on my radar. I told the girls up and down, I'm ready for Casa more. I want to see what comes in. Like I'm ready to test my connections. That's what I'm there for. I've been that way since the jump. Everyone can see that I was never like, oh, I'm married, I'm off with this man, I'm so in love, blah blah blah. Blah.
Yeah.
But so that was definitely weird to me, and I still don't know, but maybe I'll never know.
It
Mm-hmm.
really did seem like the reasoning changed. For it's like the reasoning for voting certain people, it's like it changes with the person. Like it seems like they've made up different rules for different people, and like this person hasn't explored enough, so we're sending them home. This person's explored too much, so we're sending. It doesn't seem to make really any sense. How did it feel watching? If you watched, so you watched that episode of the beginning of Casa. How did it feel watching the boys seem really confused by you getting sent home?
I think that was the general reaction from everyone was like literally, I even had a chat with Jeremiah like right when we were leaving. He was like, "Me, I didn't expect, but you was fucking crazy. Like that's
Mhm.
nobody would have guessed that." And like I was really close with Taylor, so I know that like I saw Taylor's face when they said my name, and that's when I knew like Pepe wasn't going home, and it was just going to be me. And I was like, that's why I just shut down because it's like you really like you don't expect it, and I don't think anyone would have expected. I never would have prepared myself for that.
Hmm. It did feel like watching it, and we did speak to Charlie as well, and we said this to him that it seemed like you were doing Love Island in the way that you're sort of supposed to. Like you had a connection with Charlie. You were, experimenting with Pepe, and then you went back to Charlie. And he was sent home, and then you sort of tried to further that connection with Pepe, and it seemed like you guys were getting there. So it did seem like a very odd choice from the
Mhm.
viewer perspective of why they would send you. I mean, people, you don't understand. Like people were screaming at their TVs, including us, about you and Jeremiah. As for Jeremiah sending home, what did you think about that? Were you surprised about that as well?
That was shocking. I really liked, I could tell you I had two ideas of who's going home in my head, and it was not Jeremiah for sure. Um, and like I can maybe see where they, no, I really couldn't see what they're, I couldn't. I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna try to reason with that because that was really confusing. Maybe they wanted to put an end to like the Huda and Jeremiah show because it
Mhm.
was literally nonstop all the time, 24/7. So like maybe that was just their like actual reasoning, but they didn't want to say that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. That it did kind of seem like it was that may have been the case. Did it seem ever while you were in the villa that perhaps there was some sort of animosity between like Ace, Taylor, and Nick and Jeremiah and the way they were feeling about him? Because watching it as viewers, it comes across like Ace has almost had this kind of personal issue with Jeremiah, and like the second he had a chance to get him out, he did.
I don't like, I really don't think that I noticed that. I'm kind of oblivious though. Like I feel like I'm just like la di da di da. Like I don't really know what's going on half the time. But like usually like pretty much every night I would come down and I would talk to Ace, Taylor, and Nick. Like every
Yeah.
night I was there. I was always like the first one in bed. And like Jeremiah was always like the last one. So he was never really in our conversations, but
Mm.
they never like said anything that would have made me feel that way. But like I know that they were super close, and I know Pepe and Jeremiah were really close. So it was like,
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
never really.
again, that's when it turns into Friend Island.
Right, because I feel like
Yeah.
we're watching conversations where it seems like those group of guys seem like they're kind of being like, this is what's supposed to happen in the villa and this is what's not happening. Did it feel that way at all, where they were kind of like, policing what the other islanders were doing?
Ace definitely was like the president of the villa. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he just like I don't know, he always was like ordering the boys to do things. Like he'd be like, "Go tell Shelly that she got a text or that you got a text." And like it was so weird, but like I don't know, I thought it was funny, but it was just like
Yeah.
odd because they were just like, "Yes, master." Like I'll do
Yes,
whatever.
I feel justified hearing this because
Yeah.
watching, that's how we feel. We're like, Ace snaps his fingers and the boys are making Shelly
Right.
breakfast and putting on a show and putting on their suit
Yeah.
and tie.
Yeah.
And like,
Nick, go put your jacket on. We're
and he's
setting up
like,
a date for
he's like,
Shelly.
yes, sir, I'll do whatever you want. And it's like, we're watching all this happen. So that is really how it was.
Yeah, like, and I don't like it wasn't constant, but it
Mhm.
was like definitely. I would be like, "Oh, there Ace goes again, another date planned for Shelly." It was funny, but I'm an observer, so I think I really pay attention to things like that. But
Yeah.
you know,
No, and we've noticed it too. You had what seemed to be a good friendship with Huda. You were always there for her when she was going through a lot of her issues. And then right at the end there, before you were sent home, it looked like maybe she was interested in Pepe and had some conversations with him. How did you feel about that? Because another, a little bit of the viewership as well was like, ooh, maybe Huda didn't fight for Hannah to stay because that would have opened Pepe up.
yeah, that was crazy. And there's actually a lot of conversations that happened that weren't shown. Like I had so many chats with Huda where I'd be like, nobody wants to hear you talk about Jeremiah anymore. You can come to me. I can give you advice, or I can just sit there and listen. And we would talk a lot about her situation, all like constantly, like constantly. And I didn't really like doing it in group settings because I know like everyone was kind of annoyed. But there was one conversation I had with her that same day that she like went and pulled him, where I was like, there's a lot of things that I want to talk to him about, like in my like my past traumas and stuff that I really want to open up to him about. And um I'm not like, I don't know if I'm ready to, or I don't know how to say it. And she was like, oh, well, why don't you practice and tell me everything? So I sit there and I tell her everything I'm about to tell Pepe. And then like that happens late at night. And what's not shown too is like when she pulls Pepe, he's like on me, feeding me pancakes and like kissing me on the neck. And then she's like, oh, Pepe, come here. And then pulls him like, well, like I'm sitting right there. And that was, and I had no clue. Like it never was told to me, or even like, you don't need to explain it to me. You don't need to give me your reasoning. You don't even need to ask for my permission. All you have to say is, hey, I'm going to pull Pepe for a chat. And like that would be like just decent to know before, so I'm not like sitting there like, what the fuck is going on, and
Absolutely.
crashing at
Yeah.
Hannah. Yeah.
Right. I mean, absolutely, because like it's been said a trillion times, it's been beaten down. It's like, obviously, it's about exploring connections. And
Mhm.
at that point, people wanted Huda and Jeremiah to stop. It was like, enough of this, so explore other connections. If Huda came to
Mhm.
you and was like, listen, I'm just going to talk to everybody. I mean, I'm going to pull Pepe for a chat. I'm going to pull everybody because I need to see what else is out there. Different
Mhm.
story. But it was the, acting like she didn't know how the challenge went, too. We saw that. She was like, I didn't know that I had to make out with Pepe at the end, which was yeah, which was a little bit confusing. And also, I want to bring this up in an appropriate matter, but we did see, I believe that you were intimate with Pepe, and us viewers saw that. um, did
Then
yeah, did that change things for you after that moment?
um how do I want to talk about this? See, because I feel like with Pepe, I was really, really comfortable with him really fast. We had like actually like a really good dynamic, and I feel like it's not like shown at all, at all. And I think going into that night, um, I had, I think, talked to him about like just how I have been in the past. And like, I feel like, do I want to mention? Oh, I'll say it, whatever. I've had like a lot of like, I guess, sexual trauma in the past. And I feel like that's changed a lot about me and how I view like my, I don't know, my
Yeah.
sexuality and how
Mm-hmm.
I'm confident in that. And I feel like I am finally in control of that. And I don't think anyone should have an opinion on what I choose to do. I don't think anyone should have an opinion on what any woman chooses to do
For
or
sure.
who sleep with, because I could sleep with every man in that room if I wanted to, but I didn't, I
Yeah.
didn't, I did what I wanted to do. And, you know, people are gonna, I mean, it was kind of crazy. I thought, that was, yeah.
No,
I saw,
I
I
think
saw what you saw. I'm like, shit, you caught me.
no, I'm with you. I think everybody should be able to do whatever they want to do. Like you said, women should be able to do
Mhm.
whatever they want, and like you're exploring in there, like you go for it. With Pepe, were you feeling like sort of the next day, like, you know, I'm feeling a little bit more closed off? Did you feel like he was feeling closed off, or you were like, okay, we're still gonna keep things open at that point?
I don't think I ever felt closed off, but I
Mm-hmm.
think, it definitely changes the dynamic a lot. But we were also already really close. I remember one thing Huda said to me. She was like, oh, like, Pepe really likes you. Like, what do you do to these men to make them like you? And it was like, I think that the morning before that night. And I was
Mm.
like, what do I do? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just my.
I just like to talk.
Yeah, I'm just myself. And I mean, I'm the reason. Part of the reason I'm asking that is because we're kind of seeing a little bit unfold with Nick and Sierra, and just more conversations like that, like happening in general in the villa, which I think is also great for people to be open about it, because it is something that
Yeah.
happens outside of the villa.
Yeah. I think like definitely it like changed our dynamic maybe a little bit more. I think he's definitely more like m less interested in pursuing other connections, but I think we both from the jump have been very like, we're gonna talk to other people, we're gonna do
Hmm.
things, we're gonna kiss people in challenges, whatever, or outside, like, come on, whatever, we're
Yeah.
in Love Island. Um, but like ultimately, if like if it's meant to be, if it's supposed to work out, we'll come back to each other and
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
that's how it goes.
Absolutely. Now
Wait.
seeing that Casa has started, how do you think you would have done with just like being thrown into a new house, new guys, with all this new recoupling that's happening in this huge twist?
That would have been crazy. Come on, I feel like I would have had a been a blast in there, and
Yeah.
I think I would have done the thing. I think I maybe would have crashed out a lot just because
Mhm.
like my mind's gonna be like, what's that man doing? But now I
Right.
can watch it right in front of me, so I know exactly what he's doing. So maybe that's a little bit more of a relief. But yeah, I would have definitely dove into the experience the way that
Mhm.
I have been the entire time, and I don't think that would have changed
Yeah.
regardless,
Yeah.
like connection with Pepe.
I want to go back a little bit because you've had these, you know, I will say viral moments now, and one of
Oh,
them was also when Charlie was sent home and you were crying on your pillow and you had the picture of you from the photo booth next to you, and it did seem obviously like emotions were so high and you were so
yeah.
upset about Charlie leaving. What was your mindset shift like from that night to the next day? Because of course as viewers we don't see everything. So for us it was
Yeah.
like, oh, here she is very upset, to like, okay, she seems to be making it work with Pepe pretty quickly. So what was how did you kind of get through that?
So, okay, that was like a 24-hour day. That was a really, really fucking long day. And don't get me wrong, I was crying for hours. Like, it was not like okay, I'm ready, I'm
Yeah.
happy. When I finally decided to go talk to Pepe, because I just remember him sitting there at the fire pit next to me being like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I would have never wanted this for you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, just constantly apologizing to me. And I was like, that can't feel good that I'm fucking sobbing about being coupled up with him. So I was like, I just need to go like reassure him that like he's perfectly fine. Like it's not like I know it's nothing he could do. And I kind of just told him like, I finally feel like I made a decision for myself and that was completely ripped out from under me. And maybe it was a sign because the girls kept saying, oh, well, maybe it's a sign. Like
Right.
everything happened for a reason. Maybe there's a reason that you were coupled up with Pepe. Maybe that Charlie was saying things that you didn't know or like things were going on that you didn't know about. So that really got into my head. And I'm like, maybe I was making a really like decision on a whim without really thinking about it because I had an idea of what Pepe was from like what the girls were telling me like oh he's just playing you he's just like every other guy and so that really got in my head and that's like how I viewed him and he was just like what can I do to help you how can I comfort you like what he was pretty much the only one who was there for me through all of that everyone was with Huda because Huda was crying about Jeremiah not comforting her, and my man just went home. So like
Mhm.
nobody was really comforting me except him. And I was like, I'm gonna go make myself some food. This man was like, no, you go to bed. I'll make you food. This man made me three different meals. He made me like pancakes and then a PB&J and like bacon and eggs. And then he was like, I was gonna make you a breakfast sandwich too. I'm like, I don't need any more. Like, and then that night in the bed, we stayed up all night until maybe 10 minutes before our date. I fell asleep finally because he was just like, I'll listen to you talk. Just like talk. Let me know everything you're feeling. And we really got to know each other. None of that was shown. It
Mhm.
was hours and hours and hours of me just talking and him just listening. And he'd yawn and I'd be like, you can go to bed. And he's like, no, keep talking. Like, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear your thoughts. And then I was finally like, okay, I'll go to bed. And he's like, okay, turn around. Like, I'll rub your back and like talk to you.
Oh, that's
That's
really
really
sweet,
that
and
is
I
really
and I
sweet.
do wish that we saw that
Yeah, because we
because
don't see that. We haven't
we
seen that
don't see
side of
that. No,
him.
we haven't seen that side of Pepe,
Yeah.
and I really do wish we saw that. And obviously, there's so much that's happening, and there's only they can only fit so much in an hour. But that's really sweet to
Yeah.
hear. Behind the scenes of that, and it seems like you guys really did have a great connection. And we're
Yeah.
talking about the same night that Charlie was dumped, and in the last episode that we saw you in, we did see like a quick glimpse of you mentioned, I miss Charlie, but I'm connecting with Pepe. Now
Yeah.
that you're on the outside and you're going to be going home soon, do you see any world where you would maybe meet, Charlie for a coffee or just a meetup and see where your head's at? Or are you kind of going to wait to see what happens with Pepe?
Um, I'm definitely open to still talking to Charlie. I think he's a great guy. We had a really good connection.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not at all like
Yeah.
discrediting that. we had. I think it was very great. It was just very, very different. Charlie was not really open to talking about life after the villa,
Hmm.
while Pepe was. I feel
Mm.
like every time I kind of brought it up, he would be like, "Oh, well, let's not talk about that right now. Like, let's focus on like the moment, live in the moment," which like was
Hmm.
hard to like deepen a connection when we can't really talk about that. And he'd also be like, "Oh, well, Pepe lives really close to you. You know, I'm all the way in Australia, so like I understand." Like, it was almost, it was weird because like I didn't understand if he like wanted to see me after this or if he only like wanted to have fun then, and like
Hmm.
that's not what I was there for. But then like everyone was like, "Oh, you're just in your head, you're just in your head." Maybe I was just in my head, but I'm
Hmm.
an overthinker. I overthink everything, and like that's a Cancer man. I don't trust Cancer men half the time. So I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm still thinking, but I know it's his birthday in like 2 days. I was keeping track in the villa. I'd be like, 10. I talked about Charlie all the time.
Yeah.
I really
Hmm.
talk about Charlie all the time. It wasn't shown, but I'd be like, oh, 10 days till Charlie's birthday. Cause I was like the calendar. I would keep
Hmm.
track of the days,
Mm.
kept me sane. So I'd be like, now it's 2 days till his birthday. Maybe I'll have my phone back to tell him happy birthday.
Yeah. I mean, you never know what can happen now that you're
Yeah.
outside. You're all caught up, though. You've watched every single episode or just a couple?
I watched everything. I literally spammed it all in one day. I was like, boring conversation, skip. Oh, here's something about me. That's listen. Like I watched everything that I wanted to watch, pretty much.
What I just want to know your general thoughts of watching this season and what was shown to us. And obviously, you've brought up Huda and Jeremiah a ton. And even though it's died down a bit and Jeremiah was sent home, it was the conversation of the whole beginning of this season.
Yeah. I had a lot of chats that like weren't shown, and I think that changes my reality a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because like literally every time there's drama going on, me and Pepe would just look at each other and be like, okay, let's go talk somewhere else. Like we really like abort like every
Mm-hmm.
conversation just 'cause, like I was there to build connections. I wasn't there to like feed into everything or like,
Mm.
do things I didn't want to do. I was pretty lazy too. I like never got ready in the morning with them. I would just like put clothes on and go downstairs. I needed my coffee and I needed my breakfast or I was gonna
Mm-hmm.
get real angry. Um, but yeah, I think it does show like a pretty good idea of what's going on. But like, yeah, it was really like Huda and Jeremiah focused 24/7. I feel like she would just kind of always have something to say. And I honestly didn't really have like a good perception of Jeremiah until watching that back. I did have a chat with him before I left, like a couple of days before I left, where I was just like, honestly, like I never heard good things about you, and I'm seeing a different side of you now. And I like would like to keep getting to know you because I've only known what I've heard from Huda, which has never really been anything good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's hard because like you don't see every conversation. You don't get to know everyone personally. I really was super close with Taylor, and other than that, there was
Yeah.
nobody like I was super close with, but like I didn't really chat about like other people's connections too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Saying that you're, very close with Taylor, I wonder, like, if you have an opinion on his connection with Olandria, because I think watching, at least for the two of us, we've seen it's been a slow burn and
Yeah.
it's built a little bit, but I wonder if like you have really felt it from his side, his feelings for her, because I think the viewers have been a little iffy on how he really feels about her because he hasn't really seemed to explore any other connections.
Yeah, I don't think really any connection for him has walked in
Yeah.
yet. But I do think he does like Olandria, but she is a very slow burner. So I feel like maybe that's a little hard to like handle if
Mm.
you're not expecting that. But I do think that they have a good dynamic. I just don't know if it's like there yet. I think there needs to be more time but also more experimenting. I feel like there's not enough experimenting
Mm-hmm.
from either. But I love Alandria to death, and I think she deserves the world.
Yeah. I mean, we love Alandria as well. What is going to be your reaction now, say that, the season ends, the girls reach out to you. How are you going to navigate those conversations?
I am very forgiving and I understand that they did what they need to do. And I hold no like animosity about that because I do think that Iris really deserved a chance. She didn't get a chance at
Mm,
all. And Amaya's a sweetheart. I just think she didn't really have like a solid connection
Mm-hmm.
either. So I'm glad that they get a chance to be back out there and like really
mm,
give it a go. I think definitely I'll internalize everything that I do know and probably need to have those chats like how I felt and like how that moment made me feel because I didn't say anything. I really did not say anything in that
mm.
moment. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it'll be fun. Like Nashville for my birthday, apparently. We'll see.
I know. Well, we saw that you were talking about Nashville for your birthday, and then I think was Sierra wearing your dress, or was that a shared closet dress? She was wearing your dress.
That was my dress. Yeah, I'm getting sent home with somebody else wearing my dress. That's
No,
great.
you got
Yeah.
sent home with your dress on her.
Yeah.
Oh no! And then
Uh,
did she have to give it? She had to take it off and give it back.
Yeah, I got it in a bag like 2 days later.
Oh, that's tough. That is
Well, thank
tough.
you.
Because,
That's
you
oh
know,
my
at
bag.
the end of
gosh.
the
Yeah,
day,
yeah, yeah.
it probably wasn't easy for them either. They have to send somebody home,
Yeah.
and it's not an easy
Yeah.
decision. I think people were just like,
No,
why
it's just
Hannah when she has the strongest connection
yeah,
out of the group?
yeah. It gets frustrating because of it really does become like Friend Island when it comes to the votes. We're screaming from the rooftops. We want more power. It's like, hey, it's time for us to just send someone home, and the Islanders can't decide. It's going to
Yeah.
be America because
Yeah.
it has felt like they're starting to talk about America as like a character on the show. Do you
Yeah.
think any of the contestants have America's opinion kind of clouding their judgment a little bit when they make decisions when it comes
Oh
to
yeah.
yeah, like they're like, ooh, I'm gonna do this, what do you think? I want America to like me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Like and you hear a lot of that. They'll be like, well, America thinks that blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you don't know what America thinks. They could
Hmm.
be thinking anything. Damn it. Like, I don't know. I still don't know what America thinks. I don't have my phone back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think definitely that was something that was thought about um by pretty much everyone a little bit. Like everyone was just like, oh, well, America felt this way about Huda and Jeremiah.
Mm.
So they split them up. And Huda
Hmm.
was like, does America hate me? Why does America hate me? And I think maybe that's when like she tried to change. Just
Hmm.
I think,
Yeah, there has definitely been a shift from her since those moments. It feels like,
uh-huh.
watching a little bit, and yes, she has had these pep talks and talking about kind of a redemption for herself. And I mean, we were kind of a little confused about the vote in general of how that kind of how she snuck in there, but that's the way people voted. That's the way people voted.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
watching, it seemed like the guys thought, okay, well, the America voted to split up Huda and Jeremiah, and now Jeremiah's in the bottom three, so that must mean America wants Jeremiah gone, and that wasn't the case, really. So it is interesting now.
Yeah.
The reaction to Sunday night was unlike anything I've seen. I mean, it was
Explosive.
insane. It was explosive. People are still talking about it. We need to wrap up, but I do want to know just a quick background of how you got onto the show.
Oh, okay. I think I applied like on a whim, like before last season, just like shits and giggles. I love reality TV. It's like my thing. I binge it. Like I'm such a Love Island watcher.
Yes.
And I was going through a breakup, and I was like, fuck that man. I'm gonna apply.
Yeah.
Heard nothing until like maybe March of this year. I got a text and they're like, "Hey, you still single?" I'm like, "What the I thought it
Ah,
was fake." And then I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go for it." I actually had no idea I was going into the villa. I'm in Fiji and I still was thinking I probably wasn't going on. And then one day they're like, "Pack your bags, you're going in." So it was really a shocker. I was not expecting it. And then here I
Yeah.
am.
were you excited to go in as a bombshell or more nervous? Like, would you have rather been like on from the beginning, or did you like coming in as a bombshell?
Oh, I was definitely nervous to come in as a bombshell. And that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, if I have to wait here any longer, I don't know if I'm ready to go in because I knew,
Right.
like, I was scared. I was scared to go in, and like it's scary. It's really intimidating, and
Did you
I'm
see?
really, happy with my entrance now.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Did you see the episodes before you went in?
I watched the first episode, so I didn't really have an idea of how the dynamics were at the moment, but I did watch like everybody's introduction, and then I watched Sierra and Charlie walk in. That's all I knew.
Wow. Yeah, that's got to be nerve-wracking coming in as a bombshell. You know, they're always like, you got to steal a man, and that situation.
The last thing I want to ask you really quickly is, what couple are you rooting for to make it to the end? Any of them?
Sierra and Nick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. We'll
we,
take it.
we are rooting for that too,
I
but we
know.
need Nick to get his mind out of the
Seriously,
gutter.
that man
Oh,
is,
he's horny.
he is distracted constantly.
Yeah.
Him and Austin scare me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Austin's answers in those games early on, it was like,
No,
wow.
Austin terrifies me.
Oh, yeah.
And he said something like, "Oh, Charlie's just like me. We have the same like opinions on everything. We like have the same personalities." And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
terrifies me. Get away.
Yeah, you're like, never mind.
No. Don't push.
Never mind.
Don't push that on Charlie.
Yeah.
Don't put that on Charlie.
Yeah.
Not my
Yeah.
hair.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
No.
Well, thank you so much for coming
Yes,
on and
thank
talking to
you.
us. We're so sad that this is how it all ended. We would have loved to
sad.
have seen you in Casa. Honestly, I know you don't have your phone. America wanted to see you in Casa. America wanted to see you on the
Thank
show
you,
still.
America.
So we love you.
Yeah, more than anything, they wanted you and Jeremiah to just walk back in.
Yeah.
So, just
they were
so
like,
they
can they just
shock
turn
everyone's
around and come
faces.
right back?
I know.
Put me back in. Like, come on. I'm
I
so
know.
So-
I wish, but we hope to see more of you, Hannah.
Yes,
Thank you so much for
so
talking
much.
to us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.